Here we are. Here's a gentleman showed up with a beautiful Bentley this morning, and I'm not that familiar with this car. It looks like a pretty rare piece. Let's find out from the owner just what he's got here. What is this, sir?
It's a 48 Bentley Mark 6 chassis that a guy named Mallalieu, who's a famous racer in England, decided in the 70s he wanted to build some of his own cars. So he took some of the old Mark 6s and threw the bodies away. They were rust buckets anyway. Lowered the chassis, moved the engine back about a foot, and built 5 of these bodies, all aluminum, handmade body.
Wow. All handmade aluminum.
Everything on this car was hand done. All the modifications to the chassis, and the engine movement, re-engineering of all the linkages. And then, amazingly, all 5 were shipped to Jim Rickman in Pasadena, and who originally worked for Mallalieu many years ago. And Rickman sold all 5 of them here in California. But here, actually, most people don't know who Mallalieu is. In England, these things are just very, very desirable, and 3 of them have gone back to England. Only 2 remain in the United States.
And have you had your foot in this car, or does it get up and go?
It's got a lot of guts. I upgraded it a little when I did the restoration and put the what's called the continental rear end in it, which raises the ratios a lot. So it'll cruise at 70, 75 on the freeway and do well over 100. I've never gone past about 85 with it myself, but it cruises very comfortably. I think 70 is about 2,800 RPM, so it's very comfortable on the freeway.
How many of these do you think are left around here?
Well, there's 2 in the United States and 3 in England. All 5. No, I've never seen one except pictures. And I was in communication with a guy in England when I was restoring this, who knows where they all are, and he owns one of the other bodies that the guy built. Mallalieu built 12 of another body that I personally didn't think was very pleasing, but he said this one's probably the finest in the world by far, because I did such a complete restoration on it.
This is, I'm surprised they wouldn't go with 3 carburetors. Was that any kind of
Bentley
choice?
always used 2 on their 6 cylinders, and the only difference was on the later cars they used a larger bore SU, but the SUs, 2 SUs was the standard on all Bentleys. Whatever.
You've got plenty of carburation for your motor.
Yeah, it holds plenty of fuel, trust me.
Right, not bad.
It's not an economy car, but it has a lot of guts. It cruises very comfortably, has a great ride. It has a 120-inch wheelbase.
Yeah.
As much as longer than that GTO next door to us here. And so it rides very nice. Has adjustable suspension from the steering wheel, and all the Bentley upgrades.
And everyone gets a plate.
Each car built got a plate, a Mallalieu plate. Plus, it has the original factory Bentley production plate on it for the chassis. But the chassis, engine, and everything are all matching proper numbers from the original car.
Amazing that you found this. Well, thanks for bringing it today. It's really quite spectacular.
I drive it a lot. It's been up to Ventura for shows, and out to Supercar Sunday in the West Valley, and I yesterday was down in Palos Verdes with it. I drive it a lot. It's a lot of fun, very comfortable, interesting little car.
Yes, it is, very much so. Thanks again.
You're welcome.